Hi, hey, hello, what's up? My name's Raven, and I'm back again with another video. Today, we're going to talk about everything that you need to know about Syracuse, everything under the sun, anything that you can think of. Because, COVID's here, and people are accepting schools, they're trying to figure out their fit for the next 4 years, and, you couldn't come here. It was so hard to come here. You couldn't get the feel. You didn't really understand what Syracuse was like during the normal years. But even people who go here now don't even know that. So it's like, I want to make this video so that you can understand those things. That I can help you out. Intro real quick. My name is Raven. I am a senior civil engineering major at Syracuse University. I have a minor in architecture. I'm 21 years old. And that's about it. I'm originally from Virginia, but all of this is in my description below if you really wanted to know. But yeah, I am going to share with you now how I got into Syracuse, though I don't actually know how I got into Syracuse, but these are my stats that I can remember from high school. So yeah, I had a 4.7 GPA out of 4, yes. I took honors classes and AP classes, and those counted for more than 4, so yeah. 7th or something like that out of 500 in my class, so I was very high up there, yes. I was very smart. I used to be very smart. Now I don't know what happened. Anyway, I took the ACT and the SAT twice. I did so bad on the SAT. I think I got like a 1250, so bad, for me, in how smart I was supposed to be. But I got a 30 or a 31 on the ACT, so I just submitted that one because it was like extremely better than my SAT score. Yeah, and I only applied for school as a civil engineering major or a double major in architecture and civil engineering, which I did get into some schools for that, but in the end, Syracuse just had everything that I wanted and needed. If you want to know the schools I applied to Carnegie Mellon, Lehigh, University of Pittsburgh, Northeastern, Princeton, MIT, and Syracuse, I think. I'm trying actually to remember. Yeah, and I got into all the schools except for Princeton and MIT, clearly, because I wouldn't be here if I got in there. But yeah, I'm looking at my picture because it's falling and I don't want it to crash and burn right now. So yeah, I got into those schools, but in the end it was Syracuse was better for me. I really wanted to go to Northeastern, but Syracuse gave me way more money than them. So I was just at the end of the day, I was I had to go to Syracuse, regardless, So I don't know. And I also I liked the school. It was I did like the school. I came to visit in April. That was the first time I've ever been to Syracuse. So yeah, I was oh, I'll just apply, whatever. It was actually my safety school, or one of my safety schools, and I ended up getting in and attending. So don't ever say that you won't go to your safety school, because you might end up there. But anyway, so yeah, I knew about Syracuse and everything, so I applied and whatever. And then the first time I actually visited was April, right before I graduated from high school, which is super late to be going to a school. It was a sunny day, well, it was a rainy day on the Friday, and then it was a sunny day on Saturday. And that day on Saturday, it was I know I'm going here. It was instant. So I know that a lot of people couldn't come here because of COVID. So I want to make this video, try to bridge that gap between the awe factor that you would get if you came in person. So I have some things written down here on my phone so that I can remember. What am I involved in? So I'm in Engineering Ambassadors, which is a community service initiative on campus. It's actually my job, but I used to volunteer for it since my freshman year. And we take engineers into the city schools, to the local schools, and we teach them engineering activities and things like that. I'm looking down because I always forget this. I'm an orientation leader, so in the bright orange polo, jumping around and acting crazy, I do that. And if you've moved in the last 2 years, I was there. So cool. I can answer all your questions. Another reason why I'm making this video, because it's being an OL but virtually. I'm also a part of Alpha Omega Epsilon, which is the engineering and STEM sorority on campus. It's professional and social, and I used to be the VP last spring when COVID hit, boom. So I ran recruitment, all of that. So another reason why I would love to do this video is because I love recruiting people for things. It's fun. I'm an engineering accelerator, which is basically tour guides for engineering college only. They have different ones for each school, and then we have a really big one called U100, which is 100 tour guides, and they have the rugby style striped polos. So if you see them or in a straight orange polo, those two people will help you out anytime when you're moving in. Oh, I'm a part of ASCE, NSBE, and SWE. Those are three organizations specific to engineering. So ASCE is civil engineering, NSBE is black engineers, and SWE is women engineers. So I'm just part of that for like professional reasons and stuff like that. So what to expect at Syracuse the first time you come? So honestly, don't expect anything, because like anything could happen. Like I could have never imagined all the things that happened my freshman year were gonna happen. But I will say, like, make as many friends as you can. If you really don't like making friends, I'm an introvert, I get it. You gotta make some friends, because you're gonna be lonely if you don't make any friends. Like I know people who didn't make friends freshman year and they hated their freshman year. Then I know people who made a ton of friends and they loved their freshman year because they did everything. So like, go out there and just try to make friends. Like go outside of your shell, just a smidge. I'm not telling you to go wild, but with just a smidge. I don't know, everything's a new experience, and like you are gonna have a lot of classes, your schedule's gonna be super packed, you're gonna feel overwhelmed, but like it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Like you'll be okay. Freshman year was my favorite. No, not my favorite year, but it was my most fun year, I would say. Because I just had no expectations, and I had no expectations for myself, no expectations for my friends. Like I was meeting new people, I was doing whatever I wanted, I was being whoever I wanted. So it was like fun, I guess. So it was like cool that I could do whatever I wanted and just be whatever I wanted and whoever I wanted. So like honestly, freshman year is your year to rebrand. No one at the school will ever know who you are unless you went to school where everybody is from your high school, which I escaped, thank God. But like nobody knows who you are. You can be whoever you want. Like I have a bunch of friends who were like, I was completely different in high school, and like that happens. You might just come out of your shell and become a whole new person that you never knew existed, and that might be better for you. You know, you never know. So like, don't expect anything. Just expect everything. When you first get here, you have move-in and welcome week, which is super duper exciting. Go to all the events, not just because I'm an OL, but because they're actually fun. Don't let your friends talk you out of doing fun stuff freshman year. Like, if you want to do something, freaking do it. Do it by yourself. You'll meet people that way. Like if Orange After Dark is having something cool, like I went to Orange After Dark with my guy friends. We played laser tag. It was so fun. Me and my girlfriends, we went to Greek Peak to go snow tubing. Like it was so fun. Just freaking do stuff. Don't be like, oh, I need to buy a fake. It's illegal anyway. But oh, I need to buy a fake. I need to go to a bar. I need to go to DJs. Like, no, you don't. You can do that the other 3 years. You can always go to a bar. It's right near campus, 5-minute walk. But you can't always have these experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times can you say you went to Juice Jam? It's once a year, bro. Go. Just go. You never know what will happen. Just go to it. Especially if it's cheap. Like, come on. Really? Oh, living on campus. So, when you first get here, you'll be living on campus. Because every student, freshman and sophomore year, you have to live on campus. So my freshman year, I lived in Shaw because I'm an engineer, and so I was in the engineering learning community. If you have the chance, I say live in a learning community. Do it, because that way you know where you're gonna live, which is really good for like organization and stuff, because I'm a planner. I'm an organized person, perfectionist by trade. And I really like wanted to know like the layout of my room and all that. But if you don't know what dorm you're going to be in, you can't do that. So like if you pick a learning community, you know what learning community that dorm is in, and you know what floor it's on, so you know where you're going to be. Now, you won't always end up in the learning community you pick, but my scholarship required me to be in a learning community, either engineering or honors, and I declined honors, so I had to be in engineering. So I knew I was going to be in Shaw, but that's not always everyone's case. But learning communities, if you don't know what that is, it's basically like an RA group, which is usually 20 people, 10 rooms, 2 people per room, and 1 RA. And it's usually like a collective of people who have like similar hobbies or interests as you. So like there's one for fashion, there's one for engineering, there's one for outdoors activities. But I think they're super cool, and you get to do super fun activities. Like the outdoors learning community, they go white water rafting, they go tubing, they go kayaking, hiking, like as a part of their RA activities. But when it comes to dorms, I'll explain to you a little bit of tea. I think we have Shaw, Lawrenson, BBB, which is 3 dorms, Sadler, the Mount, which is 2 dorms, and potentially Haven, and potentially Del Plaine. So 10 dorms that you could end up freshman year. lots of dorms, I promise. They're all on different corners of campus. The freshman dorms, unfairly, are the furthest things away from campus, and then the sophomore dorms are closer, and then the school. It's not super far. Like, you can get from Shaw to BBB, which are kind of honestly the two furthest points this way, in maybe 20-minute walk. And then from the Mount to Whitman is also probably a 20-minute walk, so that's the furthest this way. So campus is super small. Like, you would think that Syracuse was like this grandiose school. It has 17,000 students. Like, no, we're a medium-sized school. Like, our campus is very small. Like, you can get everywhere on campus in 10 minutes by walking. It's so easy. It's not in the middle of the city, so you don't have to like cut through regular people. Like, everything around campus is Syracuse owned. So there are dining halls in Shaw, BBB, Sadler, and on the Mount. So like I say, if you're gonna pick a dorm, I would say pick Sadler or Shaw if you can pick a dorm, because there's a dining hall in them and they're super nice and they're pretty close to campus. But the Mount, everyone who lives on the Mount loves the Mount. So there's that. Lawrenson is super duper tall building. It has the best views on campus. And BBB is kind of 3 dorms all in one. So if you want to know a whole bunch of people at once, it's a great place to be. But I would say prioritize a dining hall inside of your dorm, because when it snows here, it snows. And when it snows forever. It snows from like November or October to April. Last year, the day they were supposed to have graduation, it snowed. May 9th, it snowed. My freshman year, I think it snowed on Halloween. So like, you do not want to be going outside to go get breakfast. It's cold. It's like 10 degrees. No. Having a dining hall inside of your dorm eliminates all of that. Like, you can just easily just walk straight downstairs in your pajamas and don't have to worry about it. So that's why I love living in Shaw. Also, think about the bathrooms. Shaw has pod bathrooms, which is like you go inside of this room and it has a toilet, a shower, and a sink, and you can close the door on yourself. Some of the dorms have communal bathrooms, which sucks. I've never had to deal with a communal bathroom, thank God, but I know people who have, and it's actually gross. Okay, living on South and having a car, if you are not a new student and you're a transfer or whatever, you might end up on South, which I don't think is that bad. A lot of people hate living on South because it's kind of far, but the bus literally takes you from your apartment to campus directly, and only Syracuse students are on it, and it takes 5 minutes. Like, you'll get over it. I really like it. It's apartment style living. It's owned by the school. It's very close to campus. It's right by the sports complex, so it's like literally on campus. And it's just like a whole bunch of storage containers. Honestly, if you look on Google Maps, it looks like storage containers, but they're color coded based on neighborhood. If you do end up on South, live in Slocum. Please live in Slocum. It's the best dorm. It has laundry in the building. Every other neighborhood, you have to go to Goldstein for laundry. No. So live on Slocum. It also has even-sized bedrooms, bigger kitchens, bigger living rooms. It's just better. It's just better. And also, they have singles. I lived in a single on South my junior year, and I loved it. But you have to be an extreme introvert for that, which I am. So heed me in my warning when I tell you that living in a single on South is very lonely. But I was always on campus until like 11 o'clock anyway, so I didn't care. If you have a car on campus, regardless if you're on South or not, I say don't have a car. First of all, freshmen can't even have cars. And second of all, if you do end up with a car, it's so expensive to park here. It's like $400 to park on campus. If you live on South, it's only like $100, I think, for the year, which is super cheap, but you can only park on South. That's the only thing. And then you can park on campus after 4:30 p.m. or 5, something like that. They change it every year. But that's only if you have a parking pass. But to park on campus in a on-campus parking lot is literally like $400. Even the booth garage, like, they're so expensive because they're meant for staff and faculty. And so, like, if a student wants to park there, it's like super duper expensive. And if you park in a parking lot and you get a ticket, it's $50 a ticket minimum. So honestly, it's not worth it. You might as well just buy a parking pass. If you do end up living off campus though in the future, sign your lease by at least a year in advance, because the good houses go the fall before you actually need to move in. So like, I signed a lease for this house that I'm in October for the next year. So that's how fast they go. Also, if you live off campus, you can either live in a house or an apartment. Apartments are really expensive, which is why I didn't live in one. They range between like $700 and $1,500 a month. I'm an undergraduate student. Like, that's way too much. If you live in an off-campus house, those range from $500 to $800 a month, which is definitely more affordable. The off-campus houses are literally 5-minute walk to campus. Like, everything past Shaw on Euclid is off-campus housing, so like it's super close. You don't have to worry about that. I wish it was something that someone told me before I got here, but like, okay, next on my list of things to remember is Syracuse sports atmosphere. So we're a huge sports school. So yeah, we're a D1 school and we're in the ACC sports division, and yeah, so we're huge on sports, but not so much where you like have to be involved in it if you don't want to. Like, everything at Syracuse is like if you want to be involved. So like Greek life at Syracuse, like it's a huge part of campus. Like, I think 15% of people on campus are in Greek life, even though I think it's a little bit higher than that. But for me personally, because it feels like I'm in Greek life, so it feels like it's more. But if you don't want to be involved, you don't have to be. Same thing with sports. If you don't want to go to games, you don't have to. You can make friends who don't like games. It's easy like that. Like, you can buy season passes. I think they're like $200. Honestly, I wish someone told me this before. Just buy the 4-year pass, because I guarantee you're going to want to buy it every year anyway, if you do end up buying it once. If you know that you're not going to go to at least basketball or football, don't buy it, because all the other games are free. Another thing I wish someone told me, every game except for men's lacrosse, men's basketball, and men's football, everything other than those 3 sports, the tickets are free. Football season is in the fall, and basketball season starts in late fall and goes until mid-spring. So if you do like basketball only like me, and you know you're going to be gone for the spring for abroad, don't buy a pass, because you can buy individual tickets, even though I have no idea how to do that, but you can buy individual tickets to games. With sports comes tailgating, and we go hard for tailgating. Every single home game, even some away games, especially Duke and Clemson, because we have an unknown rivalry with Duke. They don't care about us, but we care so much about them. And Clemson, because we beat them once. Tailgating is huge. There's like East Adams tailgates, there's off-campus house tailgates, there's on-campus tailgates. They're everywhere. Just wear your orange, not so much the blue. We don't really care too much about the blue, but the orange. Wear your orange, get out there, have fun. And it's an all-day thing. Like, games are usually, they range between like 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. People are darting and tailgating from 11 a.m. to when the game ends, and even after the game. If we win, it's another 3 hours. So just know that during the weekend on a really, really big game, sports consumes our campus. So if you don't like sports, I would say just avoid campus altogether on the day that we have games, because you can't park on campus, you can't go on campus without interacting with fans. Like, it's a lot. So I say just don't go to campus at all. Okay, next thing that I have a little bit of tea on, a little bit of advice for, is study abroad. So of course you can't study abroad your freshman year unless you got into the Discovery program. If you do plan on studying abroad any other time in your life while at Syracuse, really think about your course of action for your major and all of your requirements, because you don't want to go abroad and then set yourself back a semester because you wanted to go abroad. You really have to think about the decisions that you make in the classes that you can take while you're abroad, because they do make an impact in the long run. Because most people go abroad, if you're an engineer, it's sophomore spring, and if you're a non-engineer, it's usually junior spring. So like, those are vital semesters where like that can make or break whether you're graduating on time or not, especially junior spring. If you do need help, there's a whole bunch of help. There's international advisors in the international building, there's study abroad, there's LGBTQ, there's multicultural, there's a lot of help here. If you do need something, there's Hendricks Chapel, there's a whole bunch of religious advisors that can help you and all that kind of thing. So there's a whole bunch of help here if you need it. This school is definitely big enough where we have enough resources to help any and every person under the sun. Also, there's a Jewish house on campus and all those things. So like, if you are interested in something, it's definitely here for you. And if you are worried about something that you do in routine at home, I guarantee you can definitely do it when you come here. Oh, I touched on this earlier, but there's Orange After Dark, the Involvement Fair, and Welcome Week. All of those things are kind of oriented towards freshmen and new students and stuff like that, but they're just to get you like super integrated into campus. So Orange After Dark is these kind of night events that the school hosts at a discounted price. It happens Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday, and it's for Syracuse students, and it's just like fun activities that you can do alternatively to going out and partying and stuff like that, if that's not something you're into, or if you just want to have a relaxing weekend, I guess. The Involvement Fair is something I highly suggest anyone go to, regardless if you're a freshman, sophomore, senior, whatever. We have the Involvement Fair every single year. Usually we have it on the quad, and there's like a whole bunch of tables. This is the one that happens during the school year. There's one that happens specifically for freshmen during Welcome Week, which is the Involvement Fair at night. And that one I say go to because you're like the first person to go, and you can usually get like free merch and stuff. They'll sell like, they'll give away like shirts, stickers, anything. So I say go. It's right during the other the Orange Blast welcome event, like fun carnival activities. They have that at night for freshmen, and then at the end there's an Involvement Fair happening at the same time. So I would say definitely go to that if you don't go to any other welcome event, because it's the one that will help you in the long run. I'll share with you now my favorite things about Syracuse, like what I really like, and if this helps you in any way pick this school as your choice. This is what really got me really into the Syracuse vibe. Side note, my favorite color is orange, which really had nothing to do with me picking the school, but happy in the long run that all of my school merch is orange because it's my favorite color. So that's a cool tidbit. But yeah, so one of my favorite things about campus, I already said, is just in the city because you get free food. Hello. Like, even as an orientation leader, it's still my favorite event. Then there's Mayfest and Juice Jam. If you don't know what those are, we have annual concerts every year. Juice Jam in the fall and Mayfest in the spring. Mayfest also in conjunction with Block Party. The tickets are usually $20 to $25, and we get super big name artists. Like, they had Travis Scott before, we had Gucci Mane, we had SZA, we had Playboi Carti. Like, they get really, really big artists for $20. Yes, for $20. Open to Syracuse students and ESF students only. ESF, quick little side bit. ESF is the State University of New York school right next door to Syracuse. They can take classes at our school, we can take classes at their school. They can participate in our activities. If you want to participate in their activities, I'm pretty sure you can. But we're very well integrated, and they're kind of, people label them like tree huggers, very environmentally focused because it's the environmental and forestry school. So they're very like sustainable, very, yes, granola, I guess one would say. But like, usually people at Syracuse don't really reach out to ESF students. It's just a thing. Like, our school as a whole likes ESF, but the people that go to our school are a little half and half on whether they like ESF or not. And there's like a Syracuse thing where like you can recognize the ESF student because they don't have any shoes on. So take that as you may. But I love all the ESF people that I know. In my sorority, we have ESF members and love them to death. Like, very, very great. They're awesome people. And also, I'm a civil engineer, so I'm very much into the sustainability of things in the world. I'm an engineer, of course. So, like, that's another reason why I can get down with them. But if you're saying a Whitman kid and you're talking about ESF, would never pair them together, ever, in my entire life. So, that's the thing. But that was on my side note for Juice Jam and Mayfest, because they can go to that as well. But yeah, it's super fun. It's like an all-day activity. Juice Jam is usually a Sunday, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. It's an all-day thing. It's kind of like Coachella, but for Syracuse. And then in the spring, there's Mayfest, which is kind of like a huge day picnic kind of thing, where they have like carnival food, silent discos, little artists perform, and all that kind of stuff. It's free. Mayfest is free, but Block Party, the concert after Mayfest, is not free. It's $20, just like Juice Jam is, and it's a nighttime thing, and we go in the dome, and there's a person performs like it's a normal concert, blah, blah, blah. But that's also an all-day thing, but that's on Friday. So if you have class, most people skip class, which I don't condone, but people do it. I'm just telling you like how it is. People do pregame for it. If you know what that means, good. If you don't know what that means, look it up on Urban Dictionary. But people pregame for Mayfest, people pregame for Juice Jam, people pregame for tailgates, people pregame all the time. People darty all the time here. I'm sorry. If you don't really like party schools, maybe this is not the place for you. But like, we're huge on school spirit, so anything that has to do with Syracuse and like wearing orange and going out there, we're going full in for it. So like, it's a great atmosphere to be around if you really like that kind of high energy. But if you're kind of like a solo, like I want to be away from all of that, this might not be the best school for you, but you can definitely find people who want to do the same thing as you in this crowd. Like, there's so many different types of people at Syracuse. Like, it's so easy to find people that are just like you. So if party school is not really your big thing, for you, or like if sports is not a big thing, it's okay. You can still go to Syracuse and have a great time. Like, I know very introverted people. Like I said, I am a super introvert, but like, you can find your people here. Like, trust me. Juice Jam really does sneak up on you when you're a freshman, because it literally happens like the second week of school. So like, you really don't know about it, but you hear about it. But like, if you're not a freshman, you are waiting for it. So I say, if you can go freshman year, go, because it's fun. But it is definitely more fun the older you are, because you kind of get in the groove and you know more people and you can just like, you know how to operate it. But I'm telling you now so that you can expect it. Another thing is, I love the cafes on campus. So aside from eating in a dorm, you can eat on campus at cafes, and you can use the money on your card. There's like about $300 that comes with meal plans, and if you're on South, you can get a $1,000 meal plan, which is just money, no meals. And if you're off campus or you don't have a meal plan your sophomore year, then you can add money to it yourself, and you can use that at like the grocery stores on campus. We have 3. We have one on the Mount, one in Ernie Davis, and one on South Campus, and they have like very basic grocery things like seasonings, snacks, milk, eggs, things like that, if you don't want to go to the actual grocery store. But yeah, there are cafes on campus that you can eat at, along with the grocery stores that you can swipe at. And they have like sandwiches, smoothies, and there's literally one in like every single school building. The biggest ones are Life Science Cafe, Slocum Hall Cafe, Shine Student Center. We have a new student center, FYI, if you don't know. And we have a new fitness center, Barnes, at the Arch. So they're both new, renovated, look super duper nice, super duper 21st century-esque, minimalist-esque. So definitely check out tours and stuff of those online, because they definitely have them, because they're new buildings. But it's super cool. You can eat. They have a whole bunch of restaurants in there. They have Dunkin' Donuts. They have Core Life. They have like halal. They have like pizza, things like that. Quick little bite to eat. There's Page's Cafe, which is in Bird. My absolute favorite place to eat on campus is Faculty. Faculty is the building right in between Bird Library and Watson Hall, if you want to see it on Google Maps. And you can literally get like restaurant-esque food for so cheap using your student money. Like the card, your SUID is your meal plan swiper, and with the money on that card from your meal plan, you can eat pasta, cheeseburgers that taste good. Not like dining hall food, but like actual food. Faculty is the greatest thing that's ever existed, and a lot of people tell me that they didn't know about it until their senior year. I found out about that thing freshman year, and it was the grace of God for me. Okay? Eat at Faculty. And be that one that tells your friends that you know what Faculty is, because it'll make you look cooler. I guarantee it. Another favorite thing about Syracuse that a lot of people like is that we're a really, really big school, but like we have a small school vibe. So like, you feel like you know a lot of people, but you also feel like you don't know a lot of people. And you also feel like the school is big enough where you don't know everybody, but it's small enough where you know like a good amount of people. Like when I walk around campus, I run into at least 10 people I know every single time I leave a building. And it's crazy because there's 17,000 people on campus. And I guarantee you I only know maybe like 2,000 people actually. Like to run into that many people all the time, it just feels so good because it makes campus feel a little bit smaller, you know? But we are a large school, we're a D1 school, so there's a lot of people. But if you want to be a number in a face of millions, this is the place for you. But if you want to be one on a little board of 10 people, this is also a place for you. So, love that duality, Syracuse. Keep it up. And last thing I'm going to touch on before this video is 75,000 minutes long, is tips to Syracuse. Things that I wish I knew, things that I want to tell you. One, get out there, make some friends. Do whatever you need to do to make some friends because it makes the experience that much better. Trust me. I know, I'm a senior. Second of all, just do everything that you want to do. Because when you become a senior and you miss out on sledding at Krause, you miss out on Juice Jam on Mayfest, you miss out on things that make Syracuse Syracuse, you'll regret it. Trust me, you'll regret it. On a side note though, like if you don't like to go to bars, if you don't like to go to Fagan's, DJ's, Lucy's, I say go once for me, just to see how it is, because honestly, it's a memory, you know? And even if you don't like to go out to bars and stuff, it's fun. It's fun. And if you don't even want to go to a college bar, go downtown, go to Beer Garden, go to Exo Taco, go to Margaritas, go, if you just want to go to a restaurant, like those are part of Syracuse University's experiences as well. Live in a dorm that you will actually like to live in, if you can pick, especially sophomore year, because you do pick, but it's a lottery, so it's like kind of hard, but yeah. Fourth thing, live on South if you can. If you really like apartments, it's the best thing, because you don't have to pay rent every month, because it goes on your student account. And it's the exact same thing as living in an apartment, especially if you know you want to live off campus your junior or senior year. Living on South before that, one, makes you buy all the things for an apartment so you never need to buy it again, and two, gets you in that habit of like not living in a dorm, not seeing all of your friends all the time. Kind of makes you like go out there and really try to spend time with your friends, as opposed to living in a dorm and seeing them all the time and just talking to them because you see them. Like that's one thing that I noticed as soon as I moved to South, is like I needed to make an effort to actually go see my friends, which really helps me, because like I normally would just stay to myself if I had to, but I couldn't do that, you know? People are counting on me. Another thing I would say is really, really, really focus on what you want to do in life academically, because this is the school first and foremost before it's a fun environment. It's a school, so like if you don't like your major, switch the first year. Don't wait. If you really don't like it, don't wait, because the later you wait, the harder it gets to graduate on time, and that just sucks if you can't graduate when you thought you were going to. It just pushes back a whole lot of plans, and then you feel bad because your friends are graduating and you're not graduating and all that kind of thing. On another note, academically, study abroad if you can. Do it. It's fun. It's like you'll never be able to go to another country without paying out of pocket so much any other time in your life. So I say study abroad if you can. But yeah, you can also at Syracuse study abroad anywhere you want, because we're a huge study abroad school. Like we have basically like the #1 study abroad program in the United States, because you can go anywhere. It doesn't matter what major you are. And what's the last thing? I don't know. Just have fun. Like have fun. It's college. It's 4 years of your life where you have no responsibilities aside from going to class. Have fun. Get out there. Go on road trips. If you can, go to Canada. I went to Niagara Falls my freshman year, part of my learning community trip, and I loved it. I would have never gone to Niagara Falls if it wasn't for that. But yeah, go out, explore, road trip, have fun, live life to the fullest, because these 4 years go by so fast. Like I honestly feel like I was just a freshman yesterday, and you just want to get the most out of it as you possibly can, as fast as you possibly can. So yeah, if you have any other questions about Syracuse, feel free to email me, comment down below, follow me on Instagram so that you can DM me, like all of that. Like I will answer all the questions. I love talking about Syracuse. I love talking about my experiences here and all the fun stuff that you can do here. So hopefully you enjoyed that video. Hopefully it helped you pick this school. Hopefully it helped you pick a school for college. And yeah, hopefully it helped you get that Syracuse feel without actually being here.